What's going on, every single one of you beautiful, amazing people? It's your boy Cynical Baz, back at again on a brand new video, and today it's a special one. It's a doozy. This is one I've been thinking about doing for a while, and because this channel is literally called Cynical Baz, it's about me. All right. Yes, I do reactions. Yes, I do gameplays, but I want you guys to get to know me more. So, one of the things I recently developed in the past, let's say 5-6 years, is that I grew to have a love for cars. As you can see, R34 shirt right here. I did travel to Japan and rent an R34 GTR. One of my core memories and one of the best memories I've had. We're going to be doing a special video today. We're going to be ranking every single car I've ever owned. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of cars. 10 cars in the past 6 years. And I've been driving for almost 10 years. Let's just say it's been a journey. I've got stories with every single one of these cars. I hope you guys enjoy. The first car I ever owned was actually a joint ownership between me and my brother. Yes, we were that broke. And it was a nice X-Taxi. My dad, you know, graciously lent us an X-Taxi. That was one of the biggest boxes on earth. This was probably one of the worst cars I've owned, if not the worst car. But man, do I have some good times and good memories in this car. Even though it almost killed me multiple times. One time I almost slid out in Greenacre. If you know, you know. It is a Holden, which don't exist anymore. It's an Australian brand. It's a Holden Commodore Omega. I think it was called Omega. It was a box, bro. It was a box. But holy shit, was it fast for a P plater. Where will I rank this car? It was my first ever car, and me and my brother used to fight, and he had no aircon in it as well. There was no aircon. When me and my brother used to go to work, because we used to work together, especially in the heat, 40 degrees, we used to grab, you know, the spray bottles, put some cold water in there, you know, drive to work without a shirt because it was that hot, and just spray ourselves every 2 seconds. Just to warm ourselves up, man. Some good times, wallah. At Allah, you know, you look back and you're like, fuck, that was some... It was hard in the moment, but it was some good times where it built some character. And I used to take my mate to school with this. I used to drive this to school, to his house after school. And we used to wait outside the car. He knew the go. He never jumped in the car because there was no aircon. So yeah, I had good memories, but holy shit, was this car a box. Probably the worst car I've ever owned. After a couple of years, we scrapped this car. And I realized I needed to get a new car. And that was no other than the mighty Toyota Corolla 2001. Holy shit, what a gem of a car. Probably one of my favorite cars I've ever owned. The reliability, insane. And it went around the family. I owned it for a long time. Then my sister owned it, and I loved it that much that when she didn't want it anymore, I took it back from her. I had owned this car from 2019 all the way to this year. Fortunately, I did sell it this year. So it was in my family for 7 years almost. And I had to sadly let it go. But it's been with me through almost everything ever since I was 19 years old all the way to 25. So words can't describe how much I love this car and how much, you know, like how much I went through in this car. It is simply one of the greatest cars you can own, and honestly, it still looks great even till this day. Yes, people call it a grandma car, and this is like, it's, I think, only an Australian design, but I'll put it up on the screen. It's an amazing car, bro. Amazing, reliable as hell. You know what? Not even that. Yeah, it might be a bit of a slow box, but it's not that slow. Just an amazing car, bro. Like, you can't go wrong with it. ST. Toyota Corolla is an ST vehicle. And if you know, you know. You know, us Arabs, we love our Toyota Corollas. Top tier car. Love it, love it, love it. And I miss it every day. So after I owned the Corolla, even though I had owned it, I started, you know, venturing into performance cars. And I did look at a couple of, you know, Subarus. I did look at a couple of, because my mate owned a Subaru and he was trying to influence me to get one. But I thought I wasn't ready at the time. I loved Nissans a lot more. But obviously I'm too broke to get an R34. So I settled. The mighty 350 GT Skyline, as we call it in Japan and Australia, but everywhere else it's called an Infiniti G35. Yes, it was auto, but at that time I still did not know manual. This car was an amazing car. It was absolutely one of the fastest cars I've ever owned. And yeah, a lot of people who are car guys, yeah, bro, G35 is slow as hell. Bro, this is my first performance car, right? Leave me alone. He had a plenum spacer. He had all sort of mods. He had cold air intake. He had a catback exhaust. It was owned by an ex-police officer. Honestly, it was a great memory. One of my first cars that I bought that was truly like something, you know, that was truly mine, that I worked hard for. It was an amazing car. I did enjoy it. And I did get in trouble a couple of times with the police, but you know, they couldn't catch me. They couldn't catch me, bro. They couldn't catch me. I'm joking, by the way. Relax. New South Wales police, if you're watching this, I'm joking. You guys did catch me, but you know, they gave me a warning. And the story I have with this car is that I was driving in my street, and this motherfucker stops me halfway. He didn't have the radar. He just stopped me, right? The cop. And he goes, "Listen, mate, I heard you shifting, not once, not twice, but 3 times." I was like, okay, isn't that what a car's supposed to do? I was being a bit of a smartass, to be honest. I was like 21 at the time. And because he didn't have any evidence, he let me go with a warning. Suck shit hard, like hard. I had an amazing time with this car. It was truly one of the best looking cars I've owned. There was a problem with it. It was at the time there was a lot of flooding going on in Sydney. I drove on a puddle, and because the cold air intake pipe was, you know, put on into next to the front bumper, and there was like a hole. So the water sucked in, and it fucked up the car completely. It wasn't a write-off. I did end up fixing it. I can't remember what it was exactly. It's been a while. My brain's fried right now. Idling weird. And when I took it to the mechanic, I also had to get the engine mount fixed. I had to get the engine mount fixed. And after that, I was kind of turned off from the car. And honestly, at that point, I was kind of sick of auto and I wanted to learn manual. But this car served its purpose. It was my venture. It's literally the door opening to my venture into performance vehicles, and it was a fun time, man. I really enjoyed owning this car. Definitely give it an A. I really like this car. A lot of people don't, but it has a bit of a bad rap on the internet. But in Australia, it's not really known that well because this is a Japan import. Every single one of these we have in Australia is Japan import. The back of this car is honestly one of the best looking things I've seen in my life. So if you're on a budget, a 350 GT, or Infiniti G35 is a good option. I won't lie to you. I decided I want to save some money, but I also want to learn manual, and I don't want to learn manual on a nice car because I don't want to fuck the clutch up and pay 3 grand just to fix a clutch. So I went out, I saw and bought a Mazda 3, and holy shit, this car was ass. This car was ass, bro. It drove like absolute dog shit. But it was my venture into manual. It did have some mold in the seats. The car smelled like ass. I didn't own it for long. I'll tell you, I owned it for like 3 months probably. It did its purpose. He taught me manual, and that's it. I fucked it right off after that. You know what? I did see it around, I think, a year after I sold it, and it was still going. Hey, I didn't sell him a lemon. It was a good engine. I just didn't like the way it drove. Mazdas, your gearbox sucks. Sorry, but your gearbox is absolute trash. But it did its purpose, and that's why it's not a D, because he actually taught me manual. And a quick story about Mazda 3. My mate owned millions of Subarus, and when I jumped into his Mazda 3 to learn manual in that one, we blew the head gasket. So he's owned multiple Subarus, and the only head gasket he's ever blown was on a Mazda 3. That's all I'm going to say, bro. That's all I'm going to say. So then we move on to the next car, and this was my first ever venture into Honda. Now, I wanted to go suss out what Honda's about, you know. I heard they had really good things about their gearboxes, and the first thing that came to my mind is the Honda Accord Euro. So I started looking for Honda Accord Euros, and I think I must have seen like at least 2 of them before I found this gem, or my mate found it for me. He sent it to me, and it was an absolute gem of a car. It was beautiful. It was clean. The owner took care of it. It was lowered on BC coilovers. It had a cold air intake, and it was honestly an amazing drive. It handled corners like a beast, but holy shit was this car slow. VTEC, I almost got gapped by a Hyundai i30 with 4 women inside when I had me and my mate in one car. They almost gapped me. Lucky I caught up with them because the VTEC kicked in, y'all. Without VTEC, this car is absolutely slow as hell. But it was one of the best looking cars because of the mods this guy done to it. I owned this car for around August. I bought it in August 2022 and I sold it in January 2023. So what's that? 5 months. Wow, I really did not own these cars for long. I started to gain a reputation, but I'll put this in the B tier because it looked amazing and it handled corners like a boss. But holy shit, was it lowered to the ground, and that was the biggest annoyance, especially in Sydney roads. Potholes, you know. If you know, you know. The next car we're going to talk about is A lot of you guys are going to be like, what the fuck, why'd you buy this car? And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Because as soon as I bought this car, I copped COVID. And that must have been a sign to get rid of it. It is another Skyline R30, I keep calling it R30. A G35. What's it called? V30, VQ35. I can't remember. 3.5 litre engine. My brain's fried right now. This car, honestly, yeah. It's basically the same thing, yes. I bought it again. I bought it for a lot cheaper than I bought this one. But this one was blue. It had, in my opinion, nicer color. However, the fuel gauge never worked. So I never knew how much fuel I had. And that was the biggest freaking headache. And I tried everything with this car to fix it. I even changed the fuel pump. That's what it was. It was the mother effing fuel pump. Now, the fuel pump in this car shat itself. Actually, no, it did not shit itself. We changed it. And because of one small clip that we forgot to clip back on, I was driving to play basketball with a couple of mates and the car just stopped working. And I had some brand new Curries, fresh from the shelf, ready to play some basketball. I keep turning the ignition. With this motherfucker right here. And I was just stranded. It was not working. And then I opened the door and there's just fuel everywhere on the floor. And because my shoes have white underneath, my shoes were never the same. And this was 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. And it turns out that one small clip was left in the old fuel pump. And we called all the boys and everyone. And it took my mate who installed it to just clip it back on. And the car was good to go again. These are the battle scars. Look at that. Look. It's been 2.5 years and they still have the fuel from that car on my shoes. Imagine. Brand new. Curries. Brand new. Get out of my car and step on fuel. I wonder if it still smells like fuel or not. You know it still has that fucking fuel smell? Oh my god, bro. Wrap it up. Actually, wrap it up. So I ended up selling that car for a lot less than I bought it for. Honestly, I also fixed some rocker cover gasket leak. That was so dumb of me. I don't know why I did that. Should have just sprayed it. But you know, I'm an honest guy. I'm an honest, nice guy. I ended up selling it. Got rid of it. It took a long time to sell, and rightfully so. It wasn't the best car. And I think last year I saw it up again on Marketplace. It was like seeing an old X again. I won't lie to you. But it was a good car and it did its job, and it was pretty fast. And you know what? I also enjoyed kind of drifting in this car. I'll be honest. It's a good drift car. I won't lie to you. But I have so many stories about each one of these cars. I can tell you guys as much as you want, but who's going to listen? Anyway, after that, I decided I want something a bit more reliable and something with like that holds its value. And I was kind of like itching for Hondas again, but obviously not a Accord Euro. So I went ahead and bought this gem. It's a Honda Integra DC5. It wasn't a Type R and it wasn't the Type S, but it was the base model, and it still was an amazing fucking car. I love this car to bits. Honda Integra is a great platform. If you don't have a Honda Integra and you're on a budget and you're into cars, and especially if you're new, Honda Integra is an amazing car to start with. It looks amazing and it still holds up to this day. It sounds a bit like poop, but if you get a good catback exhaust, it will sound pretty good and not too obnoxious. Mine had no muffler and the resonator was cut off, so it sounded so obnoxiously loud, but it was still such a fun car to drive. It handles like a beast. Even on stock suspension, it handled like an absolute beast. And it wasn't too quick as it would get you in trouble from the cops, but it was quick enough that you can have fun, especially shifting gears and, you know, revving to the limiter, because Hondas love that. I'm talking about it right now. It's making me miss it so much. I had so many memories in that car. I owned it for about 8 months. Honestly, regret selling it, but because I was going through stuff, I needed to get rid of it because of those memories that I had in the car. I needed to get rid of it. I couldn't keep it anymore. Otherwise, I would have kept it. Cons about this car is not really much. It's slow. You get beat almost every time, but you have a fun time getting beat, honestly. The front bumper was a bit messed up. What else did it have? It had such low Ks, man. It was such a good car. It never gave me issues, maybe like a headlight bulb and freaking knock sensor. But besides that, fuck. It was an amazing car. Reliable as hell. A beast. Looks amazing. Such a great platform. If you can get, if Type R's of these weren't so expensive, I'd get one right now. but because they're so expensive, they're just absolutely not worth it. They're like 20 grand plus. But the Integra was an amazing car. Honestly, kind of regret selling it, but we move on. It's definitely going ST. It's definitely going ST, bro. It's definitely going ST. It's an amazing car. It was very uncomfortable, I'll be honest with you. But it was an amazing fucking car. Loved it, loved it, loved it to bits. Remember, this is my opinion, not yours, okay? Let me know in the comment section below what you think and what cars you've owned. And I'd like to know what kind of cars you've owned, guys. Is it MPC cars, Toyota Camry, Corolla? Or is it more of these cars, you know? But car's a car, doesn't matter, bro. As long as it takes you from A to B, that's all that matters. So after this car, I went ahead and did the amazing, splendid decision of wanting a turbo manual. I've had my fill with non-turbo manuals. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, all non-turbo manuals. And I was like, you know what, let me get a turbo manual. And I wasn't 100% wanting to jump on a Subaru yet because the prices of them were outrageous. But I started to get interested in the Mazda 3 MPS, or in America as it's known everywhere else in the world, Mazda Speed 3. And we bought this car off an older gentleman who took care of the car, who never thrashed it. He was such a genuine owner. The car was absolutely clean. The seat had some sus stains on it, but you know, we moved past it. It wasn't an amazing car, but it was in terms of how clean it was simply amazing how clean the car was. The drivability of a Mazda 3 MPS was so underwhelming. It's not normal. Yes, it was absolutely quick and probably the quickest manual I've owned, probably even the quickest car I've owned in terms of like so far with this. But holy shit, I did not like the gearbox, which is going back to what I was saying about this car, Mazda. I don't know what it is up with your gearboxes. Maybe they're just not for me, but it was not it, bro. Your gearboxes are not it at all. They just feel so clunky, sometimes hard to get into. Sometimes you don't even know what gear it is. It's like so like you had to push, and it just didn't feel smooth. And that's partly the reason why I sold this car, is that I just didn't enjoy it. Also, the front wheel drive, it did a lot of jumps when you took off the line, which wasn't my favorite. But it's an amazing platform. If you're into Mazdas, this is such a gem. But if you're not into Mazdas, it's honestly not worth it. They do come with a lot of issues. Mine, thankfully, didn't have any issues, but I was at a point where I was like, no way. I only owned this car for like 6 months, but it did its job. It's better than these, and I put it in BT, end of BT. Yeah, that seems like a rifle spot for it. 6 months I owned that car and I got rid of it. I was like, couldn't do it no more. Now, this car was my first venture into Subaru, and this is a car that we still have in the family. My sister now owns it. This is a Subaru Liberty GT. Now, or Legacy if you're in America or any other country, but here it's a Liberty GT. This car was automatic. The way I came about this car is that my mate bought it as a project. He changed the engine and he just wanted to sell it. I bought it off of him for cheap because I wanted to try out Subaru, you know, a cheap Subaru automatic. I was like, you know what, if I like Subarus, I'm going to test drive this car. If I like the way Subarus feel, I'm going to buy a WRX. So this car did its job in terms of what I wanted. I got what I wanted out of it. It wasn't anything too special, but the all-wheel drive was amazing. This car handles like an absolute beast. It's a very comfortable drive. It's even very quick, especially for a P-plate legal car that teenagers can drive. A lot of people lose their license in this car. Wink, wink, you know who you are. It did its job. It had a turbo back exhaust. It had a blower valve. I think that's about it that I can name. It was tinted. And it had a lot of suspension modifications. It was lowered on lowering springs. Just handled like an absolute beast. Simply, if you're also on a budget and you want a turbo car, a lot of these are budget-friendly vehicles. I'm telling you, bro. That's why I own them. Because I am brokey. Why do you think I'm trying to do YouTube shit? I'm trying to make it big. I'm trying to get some money. Anyway. Subaru Liberty GT. I put it at end of B. It was a fun car. Actually, it might even be better than this MPS, bro. Low-key. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. It was a great car to drive, but it did its job and it segued me into what is now the car I own. So we have caught up to 2025. New Year's Eve, I was like to my mate, let's go check out this WRX. It's a G3. G3, baby. WRX Impreza. It's a hatchback. It's my baby. I love it so much. It's giving me some issues. It's Subaru. You don't come into a WRX knowing it's gonna give you some issues. Don't get a WRX. Right now, this car, I just serviced it. This car is leaking. It's leaking oil. It drives amazing. I'm not gonna waste time, bro. ST vehicle. ST vehicle, bro. Love it, love it. All-wheel drive is amazing. The manual, the shifting, bro, is amazing. I say amazing a lot, but bro, it feels like heaven. When you shift, the satisfaction you get, it just feels so like notchy and just so like direct. Probably the favorite car I've ever owned. As I know, I still own it. Will I own this car forever? I don't think so. Maybe I'll venture off into, you know, if I was to get another car, I'd get it like maybe an STI or even a Honda Civic Type R. You know, it's between like this and this, bro. Like at the top of the games, bro. Subaru, but this Subaru, I changed what I did. I added the door valve and I changed the license plate and I put new tires on it. That's about it. Doesn't really need much. I do want to put a cold air intake and I do want to tune it. It does have that Subaru rumble. It handles like on point. It's a bit heavy. It's an amazing car, man. It's an amazing car. It hasn't let me down. Shit, watch me say that. It might let me down tomorrow. And it's also a car I've wanted for a long time, but I never had the guts to pull the trigger on it. So it was everything I wanted and more. And that's all I can say about the WRX. It's just, if you love Subarus, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't love Subarus, you're not going to love this car. A lot of people hate on this car, but just drive one. Drive one and then talk. Come back to me. Drive one and then talk. They're an amazing car, and probably one of the best manuals out there. I don't know about you, but I did drive an R34 GTR in Japan. I don't know if I've mentioned that. And the gearbox in this car felt 10 times better than the one in the R34. And that's saying something. Stock for stock, by the way. Stock for stock. I'm talking stock for stock. I'm not talking about modifications. Yeah, man. That's it. That's all the cars I've ever owned. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars in the past 7 or 8 years. What can I say? I can't make up my mind. Will there be more cars in the future? Absolutely. Now, damn well there's going to be more cars in the future. But for now, we are sticking with our little Subaru. We are having fun with it. And that's all that matters. If you're into cars, if you're not into cars, it does not matter. As long as it takes you from A to B and it doesn't leave you stranded, it's a good car, in my opinion. And that's all that matters. If you enjoy what you're driving, fuck what anyone else says. Fuck him. Doesn't matter. A lot of people talk shit, can't even drive. They don't have a license. They take the train. So that's all that matters, bro. That's all that matters. Enjoy. Love this car. It's my baby. And it helped me, honestly, get through some tough times. So that's why it's on ST. And that's why it's #1. That's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this, you know, little unique video that I've done, random take, just to get to know me a little bit more. I have a lot more stories about cars if you want to know. If this car video blows up or, you know, does decent amount of views, might do more car content. So I do a lot of content, man. You know, we've got car content, we've got gaming content, we got reactions. But this is, at the end of the day, this channel is basically about me, Cynical Baz. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And let me know what you want me to react to, or you want me to play next. And I'm a man of the people. I will listen to you. Take care, peace, and as always, stay safe out there. Assalamu alaikum.